Hello, my name is Jordan McCown with the B here from the Venango area of commerce. Who am I here with today?
My name is Heidi Whistle, and I'm the manager of Porch Music.
Nice to meet you. How you doing today?
I'm doing great today. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Me and you had like a nice little chat about music a little bit ago, which is really
Yes.
cool. So now I get to ask you all the hard questions.
Okay. Hit me with the hard
I
questions.
got you. So, are you from this area originally, or?
Yes.
Okay.
So I was born in Titusville, and then I lived in between Oil City and Seneca till I was 8, and then moved to Florida and was sidetracked in Florida for 30 some odd years.
Oh, wow.
And moved back to this area. It'll be 11 years in this July.
Okay.
So yeah, I was happy to come home.
That's really
It's
awesome.
always been home, so I was happy to come home.
That's really cool. So, like, what is your favorite kind of music? We were kind of talking about it a little earlier.
So my favorite kind of music is like hard rock, heavy metal, that kind of stuff. I have a very eclectic taste in music.
Me
There's
too.
very few genres of music that I don't like something from. But if it's just me wanting to sit and listen to music, then it's usually like hard rock or that kind of stuff. That's, I would say, like if I'm in my car, that's what I'm listening to.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm all over the place with my music taste too. Like one minute it's like rap, next minute it's R&B, and then like folk music all over the place. That sort of thing. So it's really crazy.
Well, I mean, I just like I appreciate different artists, so and that's how I usually find like the music that I like is like like I'll just hear like a snippet of like some artist, and I'm like, ooh. Like that sounded really good, and then I'll go look them up, and then I'll be like, oh wow, like they have a whole bunch of stuff, and then and that's how I start listening to them. So I'll at any given day, if you come in here, usually there's going to be anything from classical to like hard rock to disco. I mean, you name it. It just depending on the kind of mood I'm in. I have a device here that I can play music on.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I was here last week with you. You were playing Bohemian Rhapsody and Pink Floyd and all this type of stuff. So.
Yeah, 70s rock. It was a 70s rock kind of day. But yeah, it just depends on, what kind of mood I'm in and like what kind of vibe I'm feeling that day is what we're listening to.
That's really cool. Yeah, it's always good to go off the vibe of the music.
Exactly, exactly.
So do you like play any of the instruments you sell here or?
Okay, so what I call rudimentally play guitar and ukulele. I know a few chords. I'm slowly learning the guitar, but I'm primarily a singer. Okay. I sing. So I have sang with a local acoustic group for a little while, for a couple of shows. I've sang like done stand-in with a couple bands and stuff on vocals, and then I do run a local karaoke night as well on Saturday evenings over in Oil City.
Okay.
So yeah, I sing out a lot, and any opportunity I get to sing, I will sing out. Like yeah, if you're like, hey, we're opening an umbrella over here, do you want to come sing? I'm your gal. I'll be over there singing. It doesn't matter.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love to sing. I've been singing for years.
Okay.
Ever since I was a kid. And then it took me a while to get the confidence to sing like out in front of people. And now just, I love it. So it's like, yeah, I'm comfortable with it. I was in Pittsburgh 2 weeks ago and stood in with a band for a song, and it was a song they weren't very familiar with, so I had to kind of keep them on point. That was kind of fun. But yeah, it was good. It was a fun time, and it was a venue I'd never sang with. I'd sang with that band before, but never at that particular venue.
Okay, awesome.
So that was nice. Yeah, it was fun. It was a good time.
How many bands do you sing with?
I've currently just every once in a while, like I'll stand in with someone, but I'm hoping to start up a band probably later this year. because I've been looking around at some of the local talent and stuff like that and thinking, do I want to throw my hat back in the game? And, I've had some health issues and stuff. So it's like, do I want to throw my hat back in the game? And I'm like, yeah, I kind of do. So there's been, I have some friends and stuff that are in between bands right now, and I've kind of put the feelers out and been like, hey, like, do you want to start something up? And they're like, yes.
That's
so
awesome.
so I told them, like, all right, let's look into like fall, because we're all super busy over the summer. So I'm like, let's look into fall and see if we can start getting together and practicing and see what we can come up with.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. So sometimes it's just trying to find the right fit.
Yeah, right.
The acoustic group that I was singing with a few years ago, one of the guys moved, and they kind of split up, and they never like reformed. The other guy's not really playing out anymore, and so I haven't had like a more of a permanent home for a while. So yeah.
So like for your own band, are you gonna like write your own music, or are you gonna be like a cover band type of thing?
Probably a little from column A and a little from column B.
Okay.
Like I don't mind, like I love cover bands, but I love it when a cover band puts their like personality on a song. To me that is the beauty of if you're doing a cover of like an established song, is to find what connects to you, and then you put your own like flavor on that song. But also like writing original music is cathartic a lot of the times, because you get to say what the things that you really want to say and do. And we have in this area, we have so many just talented musicians, and a lot of people doing original music.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's kind of this area is really ripe for like musical talent and art, and artist talent and stuff. So yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to bring it back to when you were in Florida. Like you spent how long down there?
Oh, I want to say I was there for 34 years.
Oh, wow, okay.
34 years that I was in Florida. I'm a lot older than I look. But yeah, I was there for quite a while. My dad took a job down there in 78, and we moved down there in 78. And then we moved, like I said, I moved back up here 11 years ago in July. But yeah, Florida was great. I can tell you that is where I really learned to appreciate music, because there were so many venues that were all like really easily accessible. I got very lucky that my parents were very generous with their time and car when I was a teenager, and would take me and my friends to concerts and drop us off and let us. I mean, it was the '80s. They, they didn't supervise us all that well in the '80s, but I started going to concerts when I was 13. The very first concert I ever saw was Kiss.
Oh, okay.
And it was. I'll never forget. It was December 29th, 1983. It was 3 bands. It was Kiss, Pat Travers, and a band called Axe. The tickets were $13.75.
That's beautiful compared to now.
My brother bought me tickets, me and my cousin tickets for my birthday that year, and he took us out there for the concert and everything, and I'll never forget that. And that was the start of something special. My brother's 8 years older than me, and he influenced my musical taste for a long time, because he's very eclectic in the things that he, music he likes too. But Like he turned me on to a lot of bands, like Boston, Led Zeppelin, Styx. He took me to see Madonna in 1984 with the Beastie Boys opening. Yeah, really so cool. I mean, seriously, that was something. We've gone, even now as adults, there's been quite a few concerts we've gone to together. We just, a couple years back, we went and saw Stevie Nicks and Billy Joel over in Ohio.
That's awesome.
So we still, like, that's always been our big connection, has been music. So, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So coming back from Florida to coming back to this area, how have you seen, like, the musical culture and the art culture change over time since you were here when you were younger to where you are right now?
So when I was here, when I was younger, like I was really young, but I remember like the Oil Heritage Festival was massive. You couldn't even get near downtown. You had to like park and walk. And they used to have like speedboat regatta on the river and stuff like. I mean, they just used to do all kinds of stuff. And then when I moved back, it wasn't as well attended. I will say it wasn't as well attended as in when I was a kid. But I have honestly seen in the years I've been back a huge shift, and most of that huge shift really driven by the art community and the music community. I sat on the Oil City Art Council for 5 years, and I had 3 different studios in the National Transit Building when we first moved here until I moved my studio into my house. Seeing and knowing the people that are kind of like trying to breathe life back into the community. With our music store being in Franklin, I've seen a huge influx of artists and music in both towns, which is really, it's really interesting because you think, we're rural Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
We're off the beaten path. We don't have interstate in our backyard per se.
Yeah, right.
It's a little bit of a drive to get to the interstate. But the wealth of extremely talented artists and extremely talented musicians that live in Venango County is insane.
Yeah, right.
We used to have an indie music festival, and that kind of fell by the wayside a little bit. And then 2 different people have kind of picked up the reins on that. Now we have an independent music festival called Hills and Holler that has more like edgier kind of music and stuff, and artists and things like that. And that's growing. Which I love to see that's like taking a foothold and they're really growing that. And then this coming up weekend here in Franklin, we have Blues and Barbecue. So we have national blues and acts come in and jazz and blues from all over the United States that are brought into town, and then they bring in a bunch of barbecue food trucks, which you can't beat that. It's great. It's like you go for the music, you can have like a really good, lunch or whatever, and there's usually an ice cream vendor and they have a beer garden, so it's a good time, and it's all weekend.
That's awesome.
And some of the best blues musicians out there, just really great acts that they, bring in for our community to enjoy. And then probably the newest event that has started, I want to say it's in its 2nd or 3rd year, is the ARMA Fest, which is the Allegheny Music and Arts Festival over in Oil City. That event is just fledgling, like they're just starting to grow that a little bit. So I'm excited to see where that goes. They're, looking at, local artists to vend. They're looking at local, like, independent musicians to come in and play music and stuff. So I think we're going to see that grow through the years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I really want to check out the Blues and Barbecue. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh, it is. I go almost every year. The only thing that keeps me away is if it rains.
Yeah.
But I go almost every year, and just amazing music. I mean, it's like, and it's free. It's free to the public.
That's
so
amazing.
It's like, they have sponsors and stuff. And a lot of these festivals, when they're partnered with the city or they have sponsors, a lot of them are either free to the public or they have a really small admittance fee. And I think that's wonderful because then you can, especially if you have a family, and some young kids and stuff, it's expensive, to go out and do like a family day. But when we have all these, local music and art festivals and stuff, not only do you get to support, the local art scene by going out, and if you make a purchase or something that supports us local artists, but also, you're exposing your kids to a whole new world of creativity that they might not otherwise be exposed to, which is nice because, when kids are young, their minds are so creative and they're so full of imagination. And I honestly feel like learning to open up their mind like that, that can take them so far. I mean, even in a business setting, when you learn to look at things creatively and look outside the box or turn that box over a few times and just look at it differently, that creative way of thinking can serve you really well in a lot of different scenarios, I used to work, when I lived in Florida, I worked a lot of corporate jobs. And that was one of the things that a lot of these major corporations were looking for, is someone who could think creatively about whatever project they were on. And it has served me well, I'm an artist as well as a singer. I do 3D mixed media type art.
Okay.
I paint. I do teach, pardon me, I do teach acrylic painting here. Usually in the fall, I'll have kids' art classes and things like that. And just having those creative outlets has been a blessing, you know? So, yeah.
So what is like your favorite part of owning a local business in Franklin?
So with Porch, I manage Porch. I do not own Porch.
Okay.
Holly Gibbons is the owner of Porch Music and a very good friend of mine.
Yeah.
And we work really closely together to make the store flourish. My favorite part is getting to meet all the people that come in here, because like I said, I have a really eclectic group of people that come through my door too. Sometimes it's people that are looking for their first instrument, or they, I've always wanted to learn to play guitar, or I've always wanted to learn piano, and then trying to help them, get started on their journey. And then I have guys that come in here and they're working musicians, like, oh, I broke a string, I need to come get strings. But then in the course of them coming in to pick up like accessories that they need, like we're having a conversation, they're like, oh yeah, like I'm playing at this, at this venue, in like 3 days, you should come check us out. So getting to learn to check, and checking out other, other bands and other musicians and stuff like that. That's always fun to find out what's going on around the community.
Yeah, definitely.
So
like, that's like the biggest thing for me about like being in this area, is just seeing the interconnectedness between like businesses and like the citizens and other businesses around the area. So that's really special. You don't get that often.
No, and the nice thing too is a lot of the artists and music community, I do feel like we do try to let each other know things that, try to, help promote each other and let us, each other know what's going on. If there's like something new coming up, like, hey, did you hear about this? They're looking for vendors, or they're looking for artists, or they're looking for entertainment, or, I do see that there's a lot of that in this community too, where people are letting each other know what's going on. So yeah.
That's really special.
Yeah, it is. I don't know if you get that so much in like the bigger cities, but here, I mean, it's kind of nice because, I always say living in a small town is everybody knows everybody.
Yeah, right.
And that can be good and that can be bad, but for the most part, I think it's good because, everyone is willing to, to be like, hey, did you hear about this? Or hey, did you hear about that? So that's nice. That's kind of, I think, the cherry on the top of living in a small community. So
right. Well, that's everything I have for you today, Heidi.
Thank you
so much for your time. It was really nice talking to you, hearing a bit about
thanks for
your story.
stopping in and
of course, no problem.
talking, having a chat.
Yes, it was great.
Come by anytime.
Oh, for sure, definitely.
We'll try to help you on that guitar journey.
Please do. I would love that.
All right, we'll do that.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. I'm Jordan McCown. Work for B here at the Venango Area Commerce. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.